in addition to personnel and timeframes. Because the one thing that a client can manage, which is the big number 3, the reason why price is always so important in discussions, or why we end up getting stuck on it so much, is because that's the easiest way for a client to manage risk when outcomes are unknown, right? Because it's the future. We don't know for sure that these things are going to provide what it is that we want them to. The price is the one thing we can control going into it. So what that means is, as a buyer, you need to manage what you can. And one way to do that is by checking the price that it is that you're paying. And the reason that's important is because every dollar you spend, right, it's a dollar saved is a dollar earned. A dollar sold is 10 cents earned. So I get where the risk is. I was just talking to a friend, and we were talking about a merger so he had bought a company 2 years ago. Excuse me. It could be 18 months. And I asked how it was going, and he said, "Oh, it's terrible." And of course, so now I have to say, and why do you say that? Well, it's terrible because everything that we hoped would happen didn't happen. And why do you think that happened? Well, because I didn't ask a particular question on the front end of that during due diligence. He didn't do the proper due diligence, and it came back to bite him when some key clients left because he had never asked when the termination date on their contract was. What that will do is, next time that he gets into a negotiation, next time he considers expanding his business through acquisition, he will absolutely not overpay for whatever that next company is, right? Because that's the easiest way for him to manage the risk. That question that he thought he was being extremely thorough. We had actually worked on a couple of mergers together, so I know he's thorough. It's the phrasing of one particular question he gets burned on. Well, guess what? Next time going forward, he's always he'll walk before he decides to take on another event like that, because he feels it's been expensive and that it wasn't worthwhile. It's his way of managing risk going forward, right? So that makes sense. So that's risk from a client's perspective. So even when you have the two perspectives, right, where we say there's two price discussions and two views on price, that high level abstraction, when I say $50,000, there's people who that's too risky. Even if I knew 100% that was going to work, Greg, I don't know that I could do it, because because our revenues are $50,000, right? So if you're a startup. So what we do is we manage that as a buyer, manage risk.